Madam Chairwoman, it may not be adequately staffed at the department, and that's something we'll want to talk about. The way I understood how to pronounce the witness's name was he said it rhymes with snazzy. Now recognize my distinguished ranking member, Mr. Reed, from Rhode Island.
Well, thank you. I'm just amazed that you can't pronounce a simple name, Cadenazzi and Papano. Hey, this is amazing. Okay. Mr. Cadenazzi. Cadenazzi. Okay. I have an Italian. I grew up in Cranston and Knightsville with all the Italians from Itri. The recent tariffs enacted by the Trump administration will have a definite impact on the defense industrial base. And if they're matched by reciprocal tariffs, that will exacerbate the impact on the supply chain, the cost of material. So how will you assess the impacts of the tariffs on DoD and the defense industrial base, and how do you intend to work with the industrial base to deal with this issue?
Senator, I appreciate the question and the significance of it. The tariffs are a complicated, non-linear set of decisions being made on a global scale. And I do think you're right that there are impacts to the industrial base. However, I am not currently aware of any particular analysis regarding the particular impacts on the aerospace and defense industrial base. I understand that the purpose of the tariffs are a whole-of-government approach to reshape certain elements of the economy, manufacturing, access to materials, some of which we agree are good. Increased domestic manufacturing, increased domestic production are good things. And where we can achieve those ends, we should be pleased to work on that subject. And if confirmed, I'm excited to work with the committee, with you, and with the industrial base to understand what the impacts on the industrial base will be, any negative impacts, and to prepare actions necessary to mitigate the effect of those negative impacts over time.
Another aspect of this whole tariff situation is that part of, I think, the way to accelerate the growth of our industrial base is to partner closely with our allies. But we're involved with a heated discussion with Canada and other natural allies about tariffs, and I think that will inhibit our ability to cooperate and to integrate with them and to expand quickly our industrial base. What view do you have on that?
Senator, our allies and partners at the industrial base level are critical. There's an incredible, robust exchanges between companies and between countries that enable us to work and operate and actually enable substantial weapon sales overseas. Last year's 2024's total defense exports exceeded $300 billion. Those relationships remain strong. I'm convinced that there's still robust interest across companies to work with their partners wherever possible. And I see substantial opportunities for us to increase that collaboration, particularly in the sharing of the sale of parts, assemblies, subcomponents, those kind of things, where we can go ahead and close gaps and mitigate issues that we have in the domestic U.S. defense industrial base by working more closely in a more targeted way with our allies and partners. So if confirmed, I'm excited to work on that.
If you see a severe impact of tariffs on our production in the United States, our industrial base, will you let this committee know very rapidly?
Senator, of course.
Thank you. Admiral Papano, again, thank you for your extraordinary service in the submarines. They are our key tier in the deterrence and the nuclear triad. Thank you. You're going into NNSA right now, and you've hit the highest demand since the 1980s in terms of nuclear weapons and nuclear systems, and at the same time, you're trying to rebuild a aged infrastructure. I'm being polite. But recent actions by DOGE in coming in and dismissing people, and then many times 5 days later hiring them back, which is even more disturbing. The 2,000 federal workforce that NNSA had is now down to about 1,650, and they're at perhaps a breaking point in terms of not only the demands on them to do the job, but also this sense of, will I be going next week or will I still be here? How are you going to respond to this morale problem and this personnel problem?
Thank you, Senator. I'm not fully apprised of all the hirings and firings or goings on personnel-wise inside NNSA right now, only what's available open source. However, if confirmed, will be a top priority of mine, understanding what that workforce needs, making sure it is properly resourced in people and funding as required to accomplish this no-fail mission of recapitalizing our strategic nuclear infrastructure and, getting back to weapons production.
Thank you very much, sir. And again, thank you for your service, both of you.
Thank you, Senator Reed.